What's up, guys? It's Sean with the Sean Daily Football Channel. I am here today on this lovely Sunday to give you the European Roundup, which is pretty much a new show that I'm going to be doing every weekend. It's going to give the analysis of, in my opinion, what the best game or most important game of the weekend was for each league in the top leagues of Europe. I didn't do France this week. I will start France next week as well. Going forward, I will try to include a game from the off leagues as well, whether it's South America, in Mexico, USA even, maybe Belgium, Swiss, the Glasgow, or Irish or Scottish. Any of those type of other countries or other leagues, I'd love to give analysis on those games as well. I just love soccer, so it doesn't really matter to me. So let's go through it. We're going to start with the Premier League. There was only one place to go to for the game of the week, and that had to be Chelsea Arsenal. What a game. We talked about this game on the preview a little bit, and pretty much exactly according to expectation. Chelsea won 2-0. Very, very comfortable. The XG of the game was 3.6 to 0.64. For those who don't know what XG is or haven't done a lot of research on XG, XG is pretty much a statistical analysis on what the chances of a goal from a chance is. So I believe the XG for, say, a penalty is 0.75. There's a 75% chance that you're going to score a penalty. So if a team has pretty much an empty net with their striker in the 6-yard box, there's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to score that, so they get 1 XG for that. It's not a perfect stat, but it kind of gives you an idea of how the game went. And 3.64 to Chelsea to 0.64 for Arsenal, that does kind of explain the story of the game. Arsenal did not offer much this game. I can't say I was disappointed because we talked about it before the game. The odds for Arsenal to win was 4-1. 4-1 odds at home is not great. That's pretty abysmal, in all honesty. And I'm going to take a little bit of a segue here and talk in general about Arsenal as a whole. I get rather annoyed when pundits and analysts talk about soccer and compare teams to what they were in their heyday. And I feel like this happens a lot with teams like Arsenal, with Manchester United, with Liverpool during the last few years, where they constantly Arsenal gets compared to the Invincible seasons. Guess what? There was no Thierry Henry in that team. There was no Robert Pires. There was no Patrice Vieira. There was no Sol Campbell. There was no Freddie Ljungberg. There was no Bergkamp. That team is possibly the 8th or 9th best team in the league as far as quality goes. So I don't see how the expectation is for them to do anything more. Now, in this particular game, in this specific case against Chelsea, which in my opinion is pretty much the best team in the league as far as structure and as far as player per player goes, I think Arsenal made 2 huge mistakes, which both led to goals. So can't really argue too much about that. Tierney, I do not know what he was doing. Both of Arsenal's goals, for those who haven't seen it yet, with the 3-4-3 system that Chelsea can employ, the right wing back of Chelsea, Reece James, was bombing forward all the time, and he was free. There was not a player near him for at least 15 feet, 20 feet. He had all the room in the world, and he just strode in, had controlled the ball, made a dart to the byline, passed it through. Lukaku, first game, first goal. Thank you very much. And it must be also said, Lukaku absolutely bullied Arsenal all game long. He was strong. He was dominant. Every time he tried to hold up the ball, he was knocking players off the ball. He was strong. He was so good. He was a monster for Chelsea in that game. And this is going to be scary. This game kind of showed the potential of what Lukaku can bring for this team and what it's going to do for them down the line. I can see Chelsea easily running away and keep racking up 4 or 5 more wins and kind of running away with this. I'm not going to say they're going to run away with a league. That's kind of a bit too giddy for the Premier League, but I do consider Chelsea my favorites to win the league at the moment. They looked so good. Everything was perfect, just all around. I'm going to mention a few other players. Again, Reece James did so well. I'm so happy that he got his goal as well. Again, I don't know whose mistake that specifically was, whether Saka needed to be tracking back, whether Tierney was out of position, what the manager had done. Just not a lot from Arsenal that game. Moving forward, they had maybe one chance, one half chance, I guess, on a corner. Smith Rowe was pretty bright. He needs to be, again, he's young, can't expect much. Saka didn't have his best game all around. Arsenal, just very, very average. I'm going to take a little bit of note as well and going to say Thomas Tuchel, he's done a phenomenal job with this Chelsea team. I think they're going to keep on moving forward, and I think they're going to keep on winning games. Next week, Chelsea-Liverpool, great, great game. I'm very, very excited for that. But this game, I hope Arsenal, for a little bit of solace for you guys, I'm praying you guys don't sack Arteta. Give him time. Let him realize his vision. Next week is Man City. Did you guys truly believe you would have won against Chelsea or Man City anyway? That's all I'll leave it with. So, moving on. We'll go to La Liga next. And there was a lot of games we could have talked about. We could have talked about Atletico. We could have talked about Barcelona. There was Sociedad played. A lot of great games in La Liga this week. But the one that was the most hype and the most back and forth, in my opinion, was the Madrid-Levante game, which ended 3-3. What a game this was. So exciting. The XG actually had the game at 2.1 to 1.6 in favor of Madrid. The game started out, first half, you could say Madrid just looked confident in control. Benzema rolled the ball over. Bale scored. Hazard doesn't look great. I'll be honest, Hazard didn't look up to it. I wasn't very impressed with Eden Hazard. I do not understand what happened. Like, you could go back 3 or 4 years ago and you would say the best two players in the Premier League were Eden Hazard and Alexis Sanchez. After Hazard left, they both left their teams pretty much the same season, and they've never been the same player. And it's sad on one side for the footballing sense, because Eden Hazard was a phenomenal player. But we go into the second half kind of expecting, okay, should be the same again for Madrid. They should just pile on and get more goals. That did not happen. First pretty much minute of the second half, Levante go in, score the goal, 1-1. Few minutes later, Campania, what a volley. Cross comes in, finds himself empty on the back post, smashes the ball as sweet as you can get it, straight to the corner, 2-1. Levante, all of a sudden, what just happened? Credit to Ancelotti, he makes some substitutions. On the flip side of Eden Hazard, Vinicius Jr. comes in, and this is kind of one of those caveats that I always make when it comes to soccer players. You have to give players time, specifically young ones. I understand Vinicius Jr. has been around for about 2 or 3 years now. We all know about him, but he came when he was 17, 18. Like, you need to give him time to develop, put on muscle, adapt his speed, adapt his skills, and you always saw the potential, and he absolutely lit it up today. As much as Hazard was slow and boring and just not aggressive, or the classic Eden Hazard that we always knew and loved, Vinicius Jr., aggressive, fought everybody, took everybody on, electric, pace, and what a second goal that was. The entire play from Real Madrid was fantastic on the second goal. It started out with, I am so upset right now that I do not remember their right back's name. Wow. Anyway, the Real Madrid right back gets the ball, evades a defender, passes it off to Casemiro. Casemiro looks up, slices the ball perfectly across the pitch on the ground. Junior runs up to it, grabs the ball, runs straight into goal, and finishes it off. Fantastic goal. Great finish from him. Again, later on in the game, Levante doesn't give up. Alaba, I have no idea. He just didn't see the ball. It hits his head, bounces in front of the Levante striker. Score, 3-2. Back to the drawing board for Madrid. Again, Vinicius Jr. does what he does. Dribble. Flicks the ball into the post, into the goal. 3-3. Great game all around for the neutral. I wouldn't say either team was impressed. Obviously, a much better result for Levante. The goalkeeper went off. One of the players had to go in goal. But all around, I think this is one of those things. For teams like Madrid, I think this is going to be a difficult year. The loss of not only Varane, but Sergio Ramos. If in fact, the loss of Sergio Ramos on top of Varane, that is so much of the spine of the team gone now. It's going to take some adaptation. Alaba is coming in. It's going to take time for new leaders to show up, for new players to take on the mantle. I think they're going to be fine, but it's going to be a topsy-turvy league in La Liga, and there was other games we could have talked about. This was the one I chose. I think Madrid are going to be good going forward, but I think they're going to leak goals in the back. But the same thing can be said about Barcelona, which is why I think Atletico will retain their title. Atletico looked very, very good. Rodrigo de Paul, phenomenal player. And Correa, 3 goals, 2 games. What else can you ask for? Suarez hasn't even scored yet. I mean, we know what Suarez is going to do. Moving on to the Bundesliga, the most exciting league currently. Yeah, I would actually say Bundesliga is a really, really top league at the moment. It's just so much. Anything can happen in the Bundesliga because of how many managers have changed around. And all the teams are adapting to new philosophies. We already talked about this. There was obviously about 12. I could have talked about every single game in the Bundesliga almost. But today we're going to talk about the Bundesliga Koln game. The XG had it at 3.8 to 0.96. This was pretty much a game of, the first half was the most forgettable first half of all time. Do not watch the first half if you want to watch it. But second half, Musiala looked so good. Such an exciting talent. Sané, I have no idea what has happened to Leroy Sané. He needs to figure himself out because he's a phenomenal player, but he just does not look like himself at all. So Musiala, though, fantastic. Lewandowski is Lewandowski. You put the ball in front of him, he's going to score. There's not much argument to it. Lewandowski's Lewandowski. Is there a question? No, he's the best striker in the world. He's going to score goals, and he did it again today. Thomas Müller, one of the best creators in the world since he started about 10, 12 years ago. Phenomenal again, great pass. And Serge Gnabry was the star of the match, by far. Serge Gnabry was absolutely dynamic in that game, scored a phenomenal first goal, and scored an even better second goal. And he was just all over the place. On the flip side, the defense, Sule and Upamecano are going to need to shore up. Bayern kind of have a similar situation to Real Madrid in the defense department. It's a bit of a changing of the guard. Alaba not being there anymore removes a lot of security in that back line. Sule is great. Upamecano is great. It's going to take them time to adapt. Kimmich also needs to play a little bit better. He was a little sloppy today. But I think Bayern are going to be absolutely fine. Are they going to win the league? If you're a betting man, you're betting on Bayern every day. However, Leipzig, Wolfsburg, Dortmund, they all look good. Leverkusen looks phenomenal. All the teams look good in Bundesliga. It's going to take time for Bayern to adapt to Nagelsmann's system. Let's see how they do. I'm excited for the Bundesliga so much. Again, the only team who has won 2 games is Wolfsburg, and they've done both wins are by 1 goal. It's early, but it's every team is still in there. Every team has a chance. Great games coming up for all the teams. I cannot wait to see more of both Leverkusen, Bayern, Leipzig, Dortmund. So many exciting teams in the Bundesliga. Serie A finally started this week. Very, very exciting for the Serie A. So many, again, new managers, new teams, new players. It's going to be a great year in the Serie A. Who's going to win? Could Inter, with those losses, are they going to retain the title? Not really sure. I don't think so, but we're going to actually start with Inter today. 4-0 against Genoa. What a statement. Inzaghi is, in my opinion, has been one of the best managers in the league for the last 4 or 5 years. He's been done fantastic at Lazio. Such a cool system, 3-4-3. Inter already are familiar with that because Conte used to play that way as well. Very, very comfortable. And 2 players that I want to give a huge shout out to. One will be Çalhanoğlu Hakan. We're going to call him Hakan. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. That was horrible pronunciation from a Middle Eastern person right there. But Hakan played fantastically well. That's fantastic. Great. Played fantastically well. What a goal he scored as well. Just all around, great play. Skriniar got his head on the goal. First goal. Great header. All around, Inter just played so good. The XG actually has it at 2.2 to 9.7 to Genoa. Mainly just down to the fact that Genoa had a lot of possession, surprisingly, actually. and they just shot a lot of shots from far distance. Not a lot of quality chances from Genoa. On the flip side, I thought Dzeko was the absolute star of the match. So happy for him. I think Dzeko is one of the best strikers in the world. I don't understand why he gets so much criticism, but he was absolutely phenomenal. One of the commentators actually mentioned Dzeko is a number 10 with the body of a striker, and that is so true. His link-up play, his hold-up, his pass for Çalhanoğlu's goal, and his chest bump pass that he tried to do in the second half, all around fantastic. So happy that he got his goal. All around, just phenomenal play for Inter. Barella's assist for Vidal's goal, little cheeky cross chop, fantastic as well. Vidal played great when he came on, great assist. And all around, Dzeko just looked like an absolute star. I'm so happy for players who, when they go their first match, new team, and they play well, I feel like they just deserve the goal. I was so happy for Tammy Abraham as well for the Roma game. He was the star of the match as well. So good, happy for him. And also for Inter, I think Dumfries is such a fantastic signing. Is he Hakimi? No. Does he have the potential to be? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Dumfries is a fantastic replacement. I think Hakan is a very good signing. If they buy another striker, Lautaro didn't even play. Inter's looking great. That was kind of my roundup for all the top games across Europe this weekend. If you guys, tell me what you guys thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. There's going to be a Premier League roundup tomorrow. I'm going to start doing some videos on most likely Barcelona on Tuesday. We're going to do a La Liga prediction. Can they win the league? I'm going to most likely save a lot of my prediction videos until the transfer window closes. When the transfer window closes, expect pretty much a 5-part series of who's going to win the league and pretty much who's going to win the league and top 4 and relegation candidates for all the leagues. I'm going to put that out, and at the end of the year, we'll be able to go through, check those out, laugh at all the stuff that I got wrong, and we'll go from there. That's pretty much it for this video. Like, subscribe. I just turned on the bell notification so you guys can use that as well. The quality is going to keep going up. I'm going to work on getting better equipment. I'm in the process of moving right now, so all of these things will improve. More than anything else, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Love you all, and I'll talk to you guys soon.